Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, you're welcome. My name is Anissa Fon, and if you haven't subscribed, kindly subscribe, hit the notification bell to get notified each and every time I upload a new tutorials on my channel. If you're a old member, you're welcome back. Thank you for coming back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you on how to draft this one soldier dress pattern step by step. So if you want to know how I'll be going about it, keep on watching. First thing I did was to go ahead and fold in my drafting paper into two. After doing so, the next thing I will do is to take my soldier measurement divided by 2. My soldier measurement is 14. 14 divided by 2 give me 7. Then I'll slant it down by 1 inch for the soldier slant. After doing so, the next thing I'll do is to move down to my armhole deep, which is 7 inch. Then this 7 inch, I'll repeat it up here and mark that up. After marking it up, I'll go ahead to connect it like so, and I'm going to do the same thing to this downer part. After connecting it up, the next thing I will do is to go ahead to mark a neck deep and a neck width of 3 by 3 inch for now, depending on the project you're always working on. Then I'll connect it up like so. Then I'll go ahead now to connect my soldier slant as well. Once I'm done doing so, the next thing I'll do is to measure from the soldier to the half length and the soldier to the hip deep line, which is 22. Okay, then I will connect it up with a straight line. Then I'm going to measure whatever I have from here and divide it by 2, which is 7 divided by 2 give me 3.5, sorry. Then I will go ahead and put 1/4 of my bust, 1/4 of my waist, and 1/4 of my hip right there. After marking it up, I'll just go ahead to connect it up like so. Take note that this pattern I haven't added any sewing allowance, so when I'm cutting it on my fabric, I will have to add my sewing allowance. Then now I'll just go ahead now be connecting these points together like this. After connecting it, I will just measure the length of my dress, which I'm going to go with 35, and mark that up. Then I will measure whatever I had on the hip, that's 1/4 of the hip, and mark it down as well. After marking it up, the next thing I will do is to cut that up. After cutting it up, next thing I'm going to do now is we're going to be working on this first design. If you want to make the first design, that is the one just up here on the screen, what you need to do is to measure therefore you're going to measure your soldier right there. Whatever you have, you divide it by 2, which is 4. 4 divided by 2 give me 2. Then I'll just mark it up. Then you want to go ahead now and go down by 4.5 inch and mark that up. After doing so, the next thing I'll just do is to connect it up with a straight line. After connecting it up with a straight line, I want to go ahead now. I'm going to connect it up like this all the way to here, like so. Then now we will connect it all the way to the other side of the pattern. But before I go ahead to connect it up, I'm going to go down by 1/2 inch, right? Then I will come here. I'm going to go down by 3.5 inch and mark. After doing so, I'll just go ahead to connect from that 1/2 inch to that 3.5 inch. Then I'm going to take it all the way to that 4.5 inch we went down, like so. Okay, you go ahead and make sure everything is good and nice. You can use your straight ruler or anything you have. But now, when I realized that I don't really like the way it's looking, so I'm going to go up a little bit so for the shape to really come out well. So instead of going down by 4.5, I'm going to go down by 3.5 inch and mark that up. Then I will reconnect it up like so. I'm going to connect it up all the way to the other side like this. If you check, you see that this second line is quite very better than the first mark that we made. Okay, so if you're making the one on the screen, you had to go ahead and cut it up, as you can see right there. All right, but what I'm going to be making is the one which is on the screen right now. This is the one I'm going to be working on. As you can see, this is exactly what I want. So I'm going to go in here by 1 inch, right? Then the ½ inch went down before. We're going to maintain it up. After doing so, the next thing I will do now is to come here. I'm going to go in by ½ inch. Then I'll just go ahead to connect it up like that. Okay, just look at what I'm doing and follow it up like so. See what I just did? Okay, then now I will just take in my ruler and connect it up. But before I go ahead to connect it up, I'm going to go down here by 3 inch, but depending on how deep you want it to be, I'll go in down by 3 inch and mark that up. Then I'll just go ahead to rule a straight line from that ½ inch all the way. I will connect those 3 points together like so. Then I'll bring it up right there. Just follow up what I'm doing here. After connecting it up, we'll just go ahead to cut that up. And when you're connecting, make sure nothing should be sharp along the line. Go ahead now and cut it up. Next thing I will do is to go ahead and cut up the top from the skirt. After doing so, I will move the top part aside. Then I'll take the nipple to nipple measurement, which is 8 inch. I'll divide it by 2, will give me 4 inch. I'll go ahead and mark that up. After marking it, I'll connect it with a straight line, just like so. I will rule that line all the way straight to the downer part. Then after connecting it all the way to the downer part, I'll go ahead now to open this up like this, but make sure you use this pattern like this to cut the back first before we go ahead to slash this up. Okay, once I'm done slashing it, we are done. I'll just put everything up together. And if you want to make that the first style, you have to go ahead and cut it up from here and also cut it all the way like that. Okay, and the next thing you want to do when you're cutting this on your fabric, you have to add ½ inch here and ½ inch to the downer part, so you'll be able to join the top to the skirt. And here is the final look of the pattern. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you think about this tutorial, if it was helpful. If it was not helpful, also let me know why it wasn't helpful. Thank you so much. I hope to see you on the Sewing DIY. Bye bye.